Oh, it's such a good show. Same kind of way where it's like, you know, you see this guy that was like so good, and it's Kenny. Is it Kenny Chesney, I believe? But no, that's a singer, isn't he? But
Yeah.
Kenny I think in the actual show, I forget the actual actor's name, man. I should know. He's such a legend. But
Kenny Powers?
it's like that same kind of scenario. Yeah, Kenny Powers is, I believe, his name in the show. But
Okay.
this guy, it was the same kind of like thing where, you know, he's trying to keep up, and he's like a washed up baseball player for the most part. But he believes in his mind that he's like, nah, man, no, I'm good.
Okay. He's like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
That's a really old reference. If we could just keep referencing the same character anyway, whatever. Let's introduce our players here. We're a minute into game tempo. They're not gonna have us back if we just keep talking about our favorite media. We gotta do this off.
We do.
Spawning in the bottom left-hand side in the red, it is our Terran player. He is jheffe.
All right, and in the top right-hand corner, used to be known as the 40 Drone King, but he has elevated his game lately. Going to be starting off with a nice little hatch gas pool. Give it up for JonSnow.
So we talked a very little bit early in the day about what this Group B has looked like and why this match is so interesting. And right now, both these players are on the verge of getting kicked out of the group. I believe jheffe has already been eliminated from the brackets. There's no way he'll make it through with his record right now. And JonSnow, while not technically eliminated from the bracket stage, is in a very difficult position. He's at 0-4 right now, which is a little surprising.
No, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'll be real with you right now. Very, very, very hard for me to actually digest. But when you're in a group like this and there's a lot of great players, hey, that's how it goes sometimes.
Well, I mean, yeah, if we just look through his results here, he has lost to the following players, and you'll hear why. But JonSnow lost his first game to Estrella. Fair enough.
Yep.
Semper.
Okay.
Nina.
Wait.
And then Namshar. Which, if you're going to lose to anybody, those four players are... It's not a shameful loss by any stretch of the imagination. It's a very tough group.
It is. And you know what's really impressed me the most, I would say, is Semper being in that top kind of conversation. Only because I know him as that Terran player that is like super solid. But his Protoss transition has just been unprecedented. I really don't know what to say about how amazing he's been playing Protoss lately. So,
yeah,
props to him.
Yeah, man. I talked about it a little bit with Steadfast when we were casting, because Steadfast casted a lot as a Terran player, and he was playing, and a lot of times we'd see him doing like these weird, like 2 Warp Prism drops and stuff, and we're like, he's playing like a Terran player, and Steadfast would go, of course he's playing like a Terran player. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah. And the thing about him, though, I mean, I guess we're kind of going on a tangent about Semper, who's not playing in the series, clearly, but he's one of those players that, will play like a Terran player as a Protoss, but he still plays very conservatively. But here we are, guys. Going to be jumping into this game here on Everdream, and the opener here for jheffe looking to be a Hellion Banshee. Probably should see a third base coming up pretty soon. Uh-oh, going to go in there with the Hellions very, very early.
Gosh, the Hellions making
I don't think that we're going to see Hellbats. Yeah, I don't think we were going to see like an armory get put down, because usually you will conserve the Hellions if you do that. So jheffe just wants to get a lot of ability damage right now, and he's getting a decent amount. It's actually not horrible, but 5 drones, I think it was 4 Hellions. Definitely not the amount that you would like to get there, but definitely gonna be a decent start here.
Yeah, I like the Cloak Banshee play out of jheffe. This has been spotted though by JonSnow, which is a huge problem because he's already got his spores down, he's got his queens in position, and he's feeling confident enough to go up to lair tech already. He's like, you know what? I know this is coming. I got 5 queens on the map. I got spores down. I'm fine against this. I'm gonna go ahead and tech up, grabbing gases number 2 and 3 there in the natural, and just really adding on to all these high tech units and sort of positioning himself for the later game, and not worrying about the Cloak Banshee at all.
No, and I mean, Cloak Banshees are usually really easy to deal with, unless, of course, you're dealing with someone like, I don't know, Immaculate Control. I know Masa's incredibly well with his Banshees. You see people that, like, go in there's a Spore Crawler, there's, like, 7 queens ready to go and defend, and yet they still lose, like, 10 drones to them. But we'll see if jheffe has that same kind of control. And what I really like about it is the fact that you can use the Hellions as a distraction. So I think we're going to see a multi-pronged aggression. He's keeping them off of the creep, but the queens, I think, are a bit hip to it. Oh, yep.
Look at this. The Banshee's going to pop in here, and depending on the scouting pattern the Banshee takes, he may spot this Spire from JonSnow. Hellion's not going to go in at the same time, but the Spores are down, so his Cloak Banshee not going to get anything done, but he will spot that Spire, and even if jheffe doesn't get any big kills here, he's going to get a good read on that Spire, and that's just as valuable, I think, as killing 2 or 3 drones, you know?
Yeah, getting the read on the Spire means that, okay, I should not invest more into the Banshees at all, but the only crappy part here for jheffe is that he invested into Cloak. So that's another, you know, I think 150 or so gas that, man, if I knew he was going Spire, I wouldn't have done that. But as it stands right now, jheffe, you know, gonna try to do the best that he can. But usually you get the upgrades first, right? Like you're gonna go for your upgrades on your ground army before the Spire comes out.
Sure.
Unless you're expecting like Battle Cruiser, but yeah, this is definitely not the best opener for jheffe, only because of the fact that he invested so much into something that's going to get so little done.
Absolutely, and I mean, so little, literally 0 kills. That Banshee didn't kill a drone, it didn't kill a Ling, it didn't kill a Queen, just nothing. No, pardon me, it might have killed one Ling at the open.
Maybe.
Whatever.
Yeah, he scouted the Spire. That was like the biggest thing. Scouting the Spire was like probably the most important thing that he saw.
But that's what scans are for, Tempo.
Oh, yeah.
5th base is now down. jheffe a little supply blocked as he's adding on 3 supply depots at a time. Those are some laser supply depots, just building all of them at once. But he's got this +1/+1. He's moving out of the middle of the map, and it looks like he wants to set up for a little bit of a push here off this +1/+1, but with no medevacs on the field, or no medevacs with this push. They're a little behind, and only 2 tanks. Oh, man. The Mutalisks should be popping out here or they're already out. Where are those Mutas? Yeah, coming across the map.
They actually killed the Banshees, Creighton.
Oh, I missed it. Beautifully done then by JonSnow to kill those Banshees off. Dang, that sucks.
Yeah, and it sucks because of the fact that usually if a push like this would be happening, then you can go with the Banshees to like another base. JonSnow might have to decide where he's going to use the Mutas and his Ling Bane and Queens. But now that he doesn't have to worry about the Banshees, all he needs to worry about is the 4th base and 3rd base location. And JonSnow actually took 2 bases at a time, so even though he lost that and canceled it, which is nice.
Oh,
it's
no.
just... Oh, no. Oh, God.
This is one of those casting moments where there's nothing to say, Tempo. You just have to let it. You just have to let it wash over you like a bad smell at like a festival or something, where you're just like, uh-oh, something's happened, and I don't want to know what it is, but it's just hitting me.
Like this guy's fist pumping super hard, and he did not put any deodorant on at all, and it's like, well, I guess
just gotta
I'll fist pump too, and be like, hey, you know.
It's just part of the experience, man. Tank's gonna go down here. One tank getting some good shots on those Banelings actually, and but JonSnow should be able to. He's gonna get driven away. I thought he might just be able to clean up the whole game there, but he didn't focus fire down the tank. But that first aggression is gonna lead to more aggression here. Banelings coming in. The tank not focus firing the Banelings quite as well as they should have, and the Mutalisks here. There's so much DPS in the army of JonSnow right now. Twice the army supply for jheffe.
Indeed, but the worker count here for jheffe is actually very healthy, right? So it's 3 bases to 4 bases that are not really mining here for JonSnow. He only just now saturated that, so jheffe is not out of this by any means necessary. Yes, he's down in army supply, and his first push did get shut down, so JonSnow will have the advantage. However, he's getting a 4th base, he's getting a Thor, so that means that, hey, one bad flight into nice javelin missiles could pretty much make your day pretty sour, but I don't think that JonSnow necessarily dominated here, but he's setting himself up into a position where he will look scary in the late game, for sure.
I wonder if JonSnow watched those last Namshar games and was like, dang, Mutalisks are so good, man. I gotta try that. He's got 16 of them on the map now, still produced, not right now, but has been producing them slowly over time. A little push here from jheffe is going to get picked up. It's a shame the Mutalisks aren't there to clean up those medevacs, but they are down on the south side of the map, about to fly into the 3rd, and there ain't nothing here.
Yep.
Oh, dear.
Uh-oh, there's a Baneling there. Uh-oh, it softens up a lot of the SCV, so the repair on that missile turret is not going to be as effective because the glaive worms are going to be able to just pick off those the SCVs as they try to repair. And 7 worker kills, that's not too bad. He's still getting stuff done in the main base, but I think with the Mutas being on the south-hand side, means that he should be able to have this medevac stay alive for quite a bit more time than he would expect to. But it's only a matter of time, Creighton. Here they come.
It does seem like it.
And yep.
We got We got, what's really interesting is in the last couple of games, we talked about the opponent of Namshar not able to make none of the transition that I would have expected when you see Lingbane Muta coming. And the big thing I pointed out was that he didn't build any Widow Mines at all. I feel like Widow Mines are one of the great things. If you need to buy yourself some time and slow down your opponent, force Overseers, force them to pay more attention to the minimap and maybe get some big shots off. Widow Mines are a big way to do that.
They're X Factor units. I call them X Factor units, Creighton.
Oh, that's a perfect description of it, Tempo.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, in this situation here, it doesn't seem like he has a lot of them in order to actually make something like that happen. Like, he's not placing them in a location where he would expect those mutas or something like that to go. And even with his army, it's not that scary. You know, one tank, this amount of creep spread, the mutas are going to fly into the main base. This is going to force jheffe to really, I don't know, his attention is going to be very taxed. And I just don't know how he's going to deal with it.
Oh, he's not going to deal with it well, Tempo. The Baneling's rolling off of creep here. Some decent splitting there at the end for jheffe, but he ate a lot of damage at the very beginning here. Well, he still has the bio forces left. Looks like that Thor went down in that fight. He's dropping at the 5th base as well here for JonSnow. JonSnow forced to respond. These mutas are pushed away, though, by the reinforcements coming out. And 20 drones have gone down, actually, for jheffe.
Dude.
Fairly even trade so far.
Yeah, jheffe is actually doing an incredible job here, right? Being in so many places at once. Not only just to defend, but also like putting the pressure back onto JonSnow. So killing 27 workers, 28, almost up to that 30 mark, means that JonSnow is like, okay, I did not expect that to actually happen. And jheffe's in a pretty decent spot. He has a supply lead.
Oh, for a little while here. I think these medevacs may drop down. Oh,
yeah, he
so
needs
close.
to keep those alive. Yeah.
So close.
Wow! I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed. Very impressed here by jheffe. I don't even know how he made that happen.
Yeah, he got some nice tank focus fire on the Banelings, I think, forcing a bit of an uneven trade near the 4th base. And then, yeah, he kept his bio back, and he got his bio off creep, which was really nice, and then got the splits done. So he took a great place to take the engagement, and then a great place to take the engagement, and then executed the engagement very well. So his Marine count very healthy now. 44 Marines and 3-3 almost finished up for jheffe already. We see the +3 just getting started for JonSnow. As the Ultilisks start to pop out, the upgrades are in favor of jheffe. And Tempo, you as much as any Zerg player can tell us how amazing 3-3 Marines seem to be when you're on the other side
Marines
of them.
At this stage of the game, absolutely. And going for anabolic, I forget what it's actually called, but it's a speed for the ultras rather than the chitinous plating.
Yeah.
It's going to make it so that, yes, if he was being the aggressor, I would say, cool, go for it. But I think jheffe is going to turn up in the next couple minutes here when 3-3 finishes. It's going to be incredibly difficult for JonSnow, who's kind of sticking to that DRG style with the Lingbane Muta, who's only just now adding those ultras.
Right.
Because when the ultras don't have the chitinous plating, they're pretty much, they're not that great. I'm just going to put it out there. They kind of suck. They do, you know, like they're just giant space cows that you know, finding their place in this world. The Lingbanes are a lot more effective with adrenal glands than the ultras, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree completely. The good news for JonSnow is that there's not very many Marauders in this army, only about 10, which means it's all Marine all the time. So jheffe might have a bit more luck defending against JonSnow's Ultras, but 8 more SCVs going down behind this as there's another run by for JonSnow. And jheffe setting up for a big siege, but he's just going to go ahead and abandon this position. Now,
ooh,
that's interesting.
I love the addition of the bunker. Yeah, the addition of the bunker is great. He has a high ground position too. And JonSnow, I don't believe he's on the other side of the map. So he's on full defensive mode right now. And he's not in a dominating position at all. Like his bank, it's not there. Yeah, his worker count's pretty good. But if jheffe does not let up here, I think that we actually are going to be able to see him at least make something happen. It's one of those situations where it looked so incredibly well for JonSnow earlier, but I really believe in the jheffe. Ooh, nice run by, but the Widow Mines are going to be able to take out those Lings easy peasy. But look at how fast those ultras melt.
Man, especially when there's nothing in the front to save them. No Banelings to focus fire. Nothing in the back. He's going to try and do a little run by here, but the Widow Mine field in the back going to soften up all those Lings and Banes. The Ultralisks are going to make their way onto the top of the army here. JonSnow actually taking a slight army supply advantage. 11 SCVs going down in the background as the Mutalisks are recalled to help fight this army. This is such an intense game tempo. The Mutalisks doing great work on the mineral lines, and that's really where they need to be. But look at that planetary fortress and 4 missile turrets there on the inside 9 o'clock position.
Yeah, he's pretty much done with Mutas. He's like, F that. I don't want to deal with this anymore. But jheffe, right, he has fallen in supply here. The meter count is starting to get scary, and I think that the Thors may have been cleaned up.
Yes.
The Space Cows are on full upgrades right now. 3-3 is completed. He does have chitinous plating as well as the speed upgrade. And these medevacs, this is going to be the turning point. If the Mutas can clean up these these medevacs, this is the point where all of the pressure that jheffe has been working so hard to maintain is indeed going to start to get turned on its head. And JonSnow takes a dominating position as he decides to try to assault this planetary fortress, but the Bane count is lacking.
Yeah, very bold strategy here to try and get on top of this planetary. He's going to be forced to abandon that position. I'm not sure what JonSnow was thinking. They're going to pay the price with one Ultra, second Ultra, very low, and third one is 2. This is real rough. So we'll see if he has the chance. He's remaxing on Ultras here. 4 more coming out. But yeah, as you said, he just needs more Banes to really break this planetary
And he has
fortress.
the gas for it, though, Creighton. He has the gas for the Banes.
But
instead of that, he's going to go into Infestors, and I think that's actually a pretty decent idea here.
Why is that?
Getting Infestors. Because Infestors are going to allow the Ultras to connect with the rest of the army, so you get one good fungal. It holds the medevacs in place with the Mutas, if he still has them alive. We'll be able to take them out, but he doesn't need to survive here. The Creep Spread decided to get taken back out. If you look at the third base here, for jheffe, the Mutas are back there, dealing with the economy of jheffe, but jheffe is pushing, and it's very scary. It's one of those situations where you do need to make a very, very bold decision as a Zerg player. But the stim, he's stimming a little bit too hard here. jheffe is more red than the actual color that he picked for his.
Yeah, he's been pushing hard with these units for so long. These medevacs are so low on energy now, and the Widow Mines actually might be a bit more of a burden than a boon here, because he is going to get some. He's got to be really worried about that friendly fire. The big problem right now for jheffe is his income. He's got nothing. He's got 37 workers. These constant Mutalisk flybys have been just picking him down, picking him down. Look at that unit's loss tab. 42 SCVs have gone down, and while an equal number of drones have fallen, JonSnow has just been a little bit more diligent about expanding behind this, and eventually we're going to see this army supply for jheffe start to. It's gonna keep like going up and down as he takes fights, but it's going to slowly sort of bounce, you know, further and further south as the game goes on. And I think that really is going to be his undoing in this series, is that he hasn't made any more workers.
You're
He's trying to win
right
off the back of this economy, and he can't do it.
He will run out of steam eventually here. And all it takes is one fungal, and get ready for it. If he can get those medevacs, oh boy, here we go. And it does not seem like the fungals are going to be that effective here, but geez, jheffe is still putting in a lot of work. This base is not the most important. Like, JonSnow is up to 80 drones. He gets a great fungal on all of the medevacs, and now we see jheffe moving back. He's scrambling, but this positioning with the 2 rocks are actually really, really nice, forcing him to go down there. He's target firing every one of those ultras, and I think he actually did a really good job there. Really great job by jheffe, despite his drone, or rather his SCV deficit.
Yeah, get some good kills on those infestors that just chased a little bit too far off creep there. The good news is, though, that JonSnow has finally started adding in corruptors. I'm a little amazed he hasn't added in at least one Viper as well. I'd love to see a Viper for some parasitic bombs on the...
Parasitic bomb would, yes, parasitic bomb would be awesome here.
We saw some amazing games earlier today with, it was a PVT, and we saw the game, it was parasitic bombs and fungal growths on a bunch of carriers. Oh man, it was terrifying. Baneling bombs here for JonSnow.
If he puts that at the rocks, yeah.
Oh boy. Come on. Nah, just a little off.
Oh! He doesn't go for it.
Missed opportunity. He's too busy focus firing down everything else. He's going to lose one more infestor, but the fungal growth to lock down the medevacs again here, and now the corruptors can pick away at him little by little. The medevac count continuing to drop, and look at the energy on those medevacs.
Wow, here it comes. This is it.
There's nothing left.
He has to go south. Go south, JonSnow! Oh my God! Stop making me feel like it's gonna happen.
Here it is. Here it comes!
Yes! Oh! Yes! Yo! Yes! That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Patience, my friend.
That is the best way to end a TVZ ever, is the rage GG from the Baneling bombs.
You know it, yeah. As soon as it happens, it's over. Yep.
I think I told you the last time we cast together, Tempo, Baneling bombs are my second favorite unit in the game. And that is why
I know, you said that you liked,
amazing.
what did you say you liked more? And I was like, what?
Concussive Shell Marauders. I love
Shell
them.
Marauders.
They're so useful.
I like them too. I do. And I understand. I actually slept on it, Creighton. I was like, you know what? Yeah, you know, I do like Concussive Shell Marauders as well.
They're like a very utilitarian choice.
Yeah. But you know me, I'm a little bit biased, you know? Like, moments like that, I've never had with Concussive Shell Marauders when that happens.
That's
I'm
true.
just gonna put that out there, okay?
Totally
playing.
fair. Totally fair. What a way to end game 1 there as JonSnow from Psystorm Gaming grabs his win. Now we got to see here in game 2. Props to jheffe for putting on a hell of a fight. I think it's fair to say ahead at certain points in that game. 2 or 3 times, I think both of us agreed he was in a strong position compared to his opponent.
Yeah, it just became like this economic battle where I think jheffe. The thing about Terran, you have to understand that even if you're on like 40 or so workers, when you're at that 5 base mark and like 2 of them are planetaries, or you're at the 6 base mark and 3 of them are planetaries, or rather 3 of them are orbitals,
Right.
the mules are gonna carry you until you run out of steam. So you have this big amount of power that you can continue to put pressure on.
Right.
But once it kind of dwindles and that 80 drone count is still there for Zerg, you notice what happened there. You're stimming out, you're losing medevac energy.
You just run out of steam.
Exactly.
Well, hopefully he won't run out of steam this game. But this player, looking for his second game win and his first match win of the day in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE. It's our red Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming, Money Snow.
Money Snow.
Love it.
Yep. And in the top right-hand corner, very impressive play out of this guy. I was not able to snag that W, but damn, I would not be surprised if he could take one here. It is going to indeed be our boy, Mr. jheffe. Or if you're Sweden, jheffe.
You're learning so much today. That's awesome. jheffe. Our Swedish viewers are going to be so happy. So happy. Well, standard build so far. I mean, jheffe came so close so many times last game, Tempo. Is there something he can do this game to push himself over the edge and really execute, and like when he gets it up there to like snap it off and take the victory?
Indeed. But he really did it. I think he has what it takes to beat JonSnow right now. You know, like that was a game where, say, he didn't lose so many SCVs or maybe rebuilt them, or I don't even know what to say really, because it was such a back and forth game. He didn't get stomped. That was not a molly whopping by any means at all. Right? It was
What?
It was
What? You're bringing out molly whopping?
goddamn right, man.
What is this?
Yes,
1854?
Could be.
I love
You're
it.
bringing it back in time. Imagine
Tempo.
if they had StarCraft 2.
Tempo, you're a joy to cast with, my man.
You absolutely are yourself.
This has been so much fun. We got a Reaper expand out for jheffe. The Reaper making its way across now, and it looked like Hash Gas Pool, I think, out of JonSnow. You know, standard stuff. Everything you'd expect, I think. After a close game 1, it takes a very specific type of player. After a close, tight 20-minute game 1, to be like, you know what, 12 pool, why not?
Yeah. Early pool, even like 2 racks even out of jheffe or something like that. I feel like jheffe is probably feeling a lot more confident than he might have been earlier. I did not know how he felt before, but I feel like the fact that he didn't go for anything super duper weird in game number 2 means they say, hey, I can take JonSnow. Like, I can do this. And just a few little things, you know, few fix-ups, and I believe that we could go to a game number 3 for sure.
No question, jheffe. It's not, you know, we've seen a couple games today, Tempo, where we've just kind of mutually agreed that, this is gonna be ugly in game 2, and I don't see it changing, you know.
And then and then it's like 3 hats before pool or something like. It's like, well, okay.
Lol. Oh gosh. Yeah, third base down now for JonSnow, about to finish up. The Reaper's caught it though, and he's still just on that 1 gas, only 1 drone mining. Looking like he just wants to not tech up. Looks like he just wants to drone up for a while and really get his economy rolling.
Indeed. And get that queen count up as well, right? So if it is going to be battle cruisers, even though yes, the queen's range did get nerfed for the anti-air, they're still great units to have. They deal with the Hellions incredibly well, and they also deal with battle cruisers if they're ever to come out too. So I don't mind this at all, unless you're going to go for an all-in. There's really no reason to mine more than 1 gas, unless you're going to try to get like a really fast overlord speed.
Okay.
So I'm perfectly fine with this.
Wow, look at this on the Terran side of the map here. jheffe going for Cloaked Banshee again in game number 2. Now, game 1, the Cloaked Banshee got scouted, and it looks like JonSnow's got an Overlord here, like ready to pop in. Oh, the Marine's gonna drive it away, so he's not gonna see it quite yet. But he's going for Cloaked Banshee again. Of course, game 1, the Cloaked Banshee did not much. Scouted the Spire, but didn't get any kills. We'll see if he has any more luck this game. How do you feel about going Cloak Banshee again after it was, honestly kind of a failure?
It didn't do
one?
anything. Like last game, it literally did nothing. But you have to understand that, of course, it was a Spire opener before upgrades, right?
Yeah.
So in this game for JonSnow, he's getting a Roach Warren, so that means that the gas will be invested into that if he's trying to deal with the Hellions. Whenever you deal with Hellions with Queen Ling, it means that you can use your gas to make anything else that you want, right? Like the world is your oyster whenever you go Queen Ling. But when you make a Roach Warren, it means that, okay, either I'm going to go for a big attack that we saw Namshar do, or he's going to just use it for defense in order to not take damage while taking a hit to his economy. So the amount of gases that he's taken, 4 gases already. Oh boy, this is actually something that I'm very interested in to see from JonSnow. I don't know what he's going to do, but I'm interested. My interest is piqued, Mr. Creighton.
Excellent. Well, this Banshee actually is doing a bit more damage, certainly more than the Game 1 Banshee did when Cloak finished up. We saw 7 drones going down just as that Spore Crawler finishes up. It's such a late Spore Crawler. I'm a little surprised that it took JonSnow that long to put it down. His Overlord saw that Banshee coming, and he didn't do anything about it until the Banshee had already made its way all the way to, like, here in the map. So it was quite some time, and I don't know if he was maybe just like, as you were talking about, grabbing those gases behind, thinking about his tech choices. And just
look at how many queens. He's on 5 queens, and I think he had like 7 the last time.
Yeah.
Which, it depends where your queens are. So you can get kind of lucky where the Banshee goes to where your queens were, which happened last game.
Right.
This time, not so much. And the control out of jheffe was a lot better in this game, in my opinion. And he also didn't invest too much into them either, so...
Yeah, it's just the 2.
He still kept it alive. Yeah, it's still alive, so it's perfectly fine. This is awesome for jheffe.
Barely alive, but it's still, hey man, it's still alive. It's not like, I'm getting used to this. I've been playing a lot of Civilization, and I always get bummed when because when a unit gets damaged in Civilization, its attack power lowers. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. Can you imagine in StarCraft if your queen was at half health, if it did half damage?
In half range?
Dude, that'd be sick. There's gotta be
I'd be so sad. I'd be like, no.
There's gotta be a mod for that. That would break the game so bad.
Yeah, it would be a whole different fun game. But I love this aggression out of jheffe. He's being incredibly aggressive here. But a Roach Ravager opener means that it's not going to be as easy to actually punish JonSnow. Yeah, it's a bigger investment, but it also makes him a lot safer too. So.
Yeah, he's going to move up into the main base here. The Banshees got picked away. One of the Banshees did go down, that weakened Banshee. But this double drop into the main base, actually he's going to pick up a Queen here, some Roaches to respawn, and jheffe's just going to get the damage done and get back out. Honestly, pretty decent attack. Not only doing a bit of damage, killing a Queen off, but keeping JonSnow at home. And that's something that every Terran player loves to do to a Zerg player, just forcing your opponent to stay at home for much longer than they want to, because the ideal Zerg player is always on the map, always, poking, prodding, trying to get some damage done, but forcing him to stay back when they really want to move out at 80 army supply with a huge swell of Roaches and Ravagers is pretty good from jheffe there.
Oh, for sure. And if you look at the worker count, right, with the 3 base Terran player at 63 workers with triple mule, you could say that jheffe does have the economic advantage. And then Roach Ravager also means that the supply for the Zerg is going to be inflated.
Right.
So there's like a timing where it is a little bit scarier for the Terran player. But the supply, do not let it lie to you right now. It's looking a lot better for jheffe right now. If he gets a good tank count, like he needs to be able to deal with a mid-game 1-1 push, which is not going to happen. It's only going to be 1. Oh no, he does have Carapace. Oh my. Look at that. I think we're going to see a big Roach Ravager push come out of JonSnow with max supply. A little reminiscent of Starkiller minus the Spire opener, but it's definitely something that he needs to realize what's happening. Yeah. Especially if he pulls queens with it.
Ooh, yeah. 14 Roaches on the way. 16 Roaches on the way. A bunch of Ravagers in production. Bunch of Ravagers. 14 Ravagers finishing up. Oh, man. Oh, man. Double medevac drop. Should see all of this coming, and jheffe's not going to turn around with those medevacs. He needs to, though. He needs to get everything back to muster up in defense here. He's got his 3 tanks sieged up at the 3rd base, but there's so many Ravagers here. It's only going to take 9 biles to pick those down real quick. I'm a little bit worried.
Yep. I am very worried right now. It depends on the approach of JonSnow here. So where will he actually... Oh, he's going to split the Roaches and Ravagers up left and the right. Going to use the first round of biles in order to kill the supply depot. But here comes a nice little drop. And that is one of the parts about going Roach Ravager that really is unfortunate. But I think his tanks are screwed. He might even be able to get them. Whoop. One goes down. 1-1 upgrades to 1-1. 2-2 is not going to actually be a factor in this fight. And I think JonSnow just might have way too much here. This is really scary. jheffe is going to have to call GG, and JonSnow